head coach Dave Clawson and his Bowling Green Falcons quarterback Matt Schilz and defensive tackle Chris Jones. Gentlemen, how you guys doing? Everything good?
Great. Yeah. Great to be in Detroit and get the season kicked off again.
All right, let's pick it up, David, right there then with regard to you played a lot of freshmen, true freshmen, redshirt freshmen and sophomores a year ago. As you and your staff formulate heading into 2012, do you think that, that youthful experience gained a year ago is going to turn into strong progression from the kids who are going to have to play a lot of football for you to be successful?
That's certainly our expectation. I mean, I think, the last 2 years we went through a phase that we knew we were going to have low numbers and low experience. And I think right now we have a very solid foundation. We have 20 starters returning. Last year we played 34 freshmen and sophomores. I think we're still a relatively young football team in terms of not having a big senior class, but it's a great advantage when you have all those sophomores and juniors. Some of them played 900, 800, 700 snaps of football for us last year. And so we're now at a point from an experience standpoint and a depth standpoint that we feel we're really ready to step up and compete and continue to improve.
Dave, and looking at your team coming into this year, I think your defense is going to be dramatically improved. Almost the whole defense back. Got that big guy right over there, Chris Jones, back. Of course, Boo Boo Gates, in my opinion, is one of the real rising stars in the Mid-American Conference from his safety or rover spot. Dwayne Woods at linebacker. I'd be excited about that defense.
We're very excited about it. We have 10 starters returning, but more importantly, I think 19 of our top 22 tacklers return. And so again, you make the investment of playing young guys. At times last year, we had 9 and 10 freshmen on the field, and Chris has been an outstanding player for us the last 2 or 3 years, and Dwayne. But now I think we've then surrounded them with other good players that have played football, and I think the whole key in college football and defense is to have depth. Yep. That you're not asking guys to play 70, 80 plays. And for the first time going into a season, we have depth and we have experience.
Dave Clawson and his Bowling Green Falcons, you take a look at defensively making some opportunistic plays. But, David, the one thing, you were right in the middle, pretty much, both offensive numbers and defensive numbers, the turnover margin a year ago. Is that something that you've consciously addressed, both with the staff and with the kids with regard to, we've got to get better than minus 13?
Well, I think these guys are smiling a little bit right now because I don't know if we went a day through the spring that we didn't talk about turnover margin. And I think that's a number, if you flip it, that you can improve by 3 or 4 wins right there. And that's something we've emphasized all spring. We're going to continue to emphasize this in camp. And last year we were one of the worst teams in the country in terms of turnover margin. If we just got that thing close to even a year ago, we're probably in a bowl. And obviously we want to be on the positive side. And if you do that, I think that's where you see big jumps in teams and in seasons.
Special teams wise, which we often neglect, but Brian Smitterbush back, outstanding punter on the Ray Guy list. I would think that with all your depth coming back, your special teams would be much improved.
Yeah, we hope we don't use Brian as much this year. But he had a great year for us last year. And the thing I love about Brian is he's not a punter. He's a football player who punts. Yeah. And he's a tough kid, and we ran a fake with him last year. And he athletically, at times, saves us, can handle a low snap, can handle a high snap. And as much as we're excited about Boo Boo as a safety, I think he's even a better special teams player. He's an outstanding kick returner. He might return punts for us. He makes more highlight hits on kickoff, and it's that depth on defense now that allows you to play more of your top-line players on special teams, and that's where I think can really allow us to take another major step forward.
2 young men that are going to help Coach Clawson take that major step forward, of course, with us. Quarterback Matt Schilz, defensive lineman Chris Jones. All right, Matt, let's start with you. This young man had a tremendous year last year, 28 touchdown throws, threw a touchdown pass in each and every one of the 12 football games, threw for over 2,500 yards. So now, what was your philosophy in getting together with your returners on offense, Matt, to make that next step to get better, to keep moving the chains and to put more points on the board this year?
And this year, the role for me is a little different. I'm the older guy this year, so got some younger guys who haven't played, and Florida's going to be their first game. But just getting them ready to play a game and getting on the same page, and that we know each other. We know what we're going to do in our next move, and just the details, you know, and that's what counts in games.
Matt, when you first came to Bowling Green, you kind of got thrown into the fire a little bit. What, you were like 178 pounds, this skinny little kid back there.
Soaking wet.
And now you're, what, 215, 220, and a veteran guy. And by the way, I've got to tell you, in my opinion, you're one of a lot of great quarterbacks in the MAC this year, unbelievable number, and in my opinion, one of the best.
Thank you.
You threw for a ton of yards last year, but now you got a couple of running backs that are excellent. They should have a chance, I would think, to be a little more balanced.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we win, and our running game's going to help us win this year, and it's going to open some stuff for us. So we got four solid backs, and those guys are working hard, and it's going to help our pass game out.
As we take a look at Matt Schilz here, this one in action against the Akron Zips. You've got Jerron Stokes transferred in from Michigan, right? So you'll have him eligible this year, and we talked about. We were very impressed with Anton Samuel last year. Stick his foot in the ground, get upfield, and go. How much better do you expect the offense to be with guys who, I mean, they look